Hello, Craftin' buddies. I made it just before midnight. Hello. It's Lori, late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin'. And it is 11:59 p.m. here in Wisconsin on Sunday, October 19th. Phew. I've actually been trying to work out what's in my head and put it onto paper so that maybe we'll have a fun card tonight. We'll see how it goes. Let me first get my devices set up here so I can see if anybody joins me, and hopefully follow any comments. Okay, I've got one up. Let me get the other one up. I guess I have sound because I just had to mute it. All right, I think we're ready to go. Sarah, welcome. Happy Monday to you. Good morning to Amanda and Alexandria, right? Is that right? So welcome. All right, it is just now Monday morning for me. It went to 12:01. Couple of quick announcements. I'm going to make it super quick because I want to play with what I have in my head before I decide I messed something up. Paper Pumpkin, if you haven't subscribed, if you're in the United States or North America, United States folks, you can subscribe with me. And these kits are pretty fun. You don't know ahead of time what you're getting. We get some sneak peeks. But everything you need is in the kit except for a block. You'll get a block the first time you subscribe or with your first shipment after you've subscribed. But Paper Pumpkin subscribers also get access to these add-on dies that aren't available to anybody other than Paper Pumpkin subscribers. So I have mine. I haven't played with them yet. Last Chance products. Look for those. Oh, fall break for her. Well, yay, she can sleep late. Last Chance products. If there's something on there that you like and it's on sale, get it before it's gone, because once it's gone for good. New products. We have kits at launch every single month. October has some really fun kits. There were 3 this month. There's some Nutcracker guys. There's like a clean white themed card. And then there's like a journaling book. All right, I have 2 out of the 3. I haven't played with them yet. Online virtual craft class. I'm looking forward to this. It is next week on the 23rd, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I will not have a watch party for my locals because I am having a private scrapbooking class for somebody on my team. But you can order the class from me. It's $30. It comes with all kinds of stuff. You do still have to get the suite of products or use whatever you have instead. This starter kit is amazing. I have had a lot of people join this month. It's only good for until the 31st. You can pick $125 worth of products that you want, that nobody else picks out for you, for $35. That's $90 worth of free product. Or if you want a bigger item that's over $125, the $189 option would be good for you, and you pay $99. It's still $90 worth of product. I know, so many products, so little time. Yeah, I keep shopping too. So when I start making stuff, it's like, oh, I need that. It goes on my list. Hello, Bonnie. Welcome. You're just in time to have missed all of the little announcements. Which is okay, because you're a demonstrator now, so you'll be able to see some of them when you log in and on our Facebook group. So let me start out by saying I really love this Lights of Aurora collection suite. This paper is gorgeous. We've looked at a few of this the last couple of nights. We've made a couple of projects, but it's gorgeous. The back sides are all solid colors. Okay. A variety of colors. I made my little storage thing. I did look to see what Late Night Lori episode this was on, and it's actually, I think, February 23rd. I thought it was April, but it was way back in February. So if you want to know how to make this out of the little, it's not really chipboard, the backing to our 12 by 12 papers, I just stole one from another one that was almost empty so that I could make one for this, because I'm tired of sliding it in and out of the plastic wrapper because I'm looking at it a lot. So that's the Light of Aurora. This suite will be available in November when the online exclusives launch. When you lose your mojo, you go shopping. It's a good idea. And then when you shop, you've got all kinds of grand ideas. Isn't that the truth? Well, so when the things arrive, even though you're out of money, if you've kind of sketched out what some of those grand ideas were, you should be able to hop right on it, right? Hopefully. That's what I usually do. I have sketches, you know, I'll see something that flies by, like on my feed, and I'll just draw out kind of like what the sketch is, thinking, oh, I'll remember what it is later. And then a lot of times I forget, but sometimes I remember. So I have done a few things ahead. I do not know what sentiment we will use for tonight. I'm not sure. We are going to use one or both of these. I'm not sure, because I have some things in my head and I was playing around with them, and we'll just see how it works out. I don't know if you saw the title, but we're going to make a double Z fold card. So I've prepped a couple of things. Now I started cutting with this big die with the trees that we all seem to like the other nights that we've crafted. And here I'm just going to show you, we've got this one from last night, and I did put the sentiment up on an adhesive strip just because it gave it just enough lift. And then I think I did the Wink of Stella before we closed last night. But then these are the 3 cards from the previous night. Both of these have some ink blending on them and Wink of Stella. And this one has some Wink of Stella too. Oh, your Pinterest boards. That's a good idea. Well, where they go to die. That's funny. You know, I have similar issues with some of my print screens. I had to offload tens of thousands of pictures off of my phone. It was kind of crazy. And I have grand plans to go back and look at them all. And, you know, if I could just make one sample of every one of the ones that I thought was cool, I will not be able to finish them in my lifetime. So I don't know why I do that. Bonnie, I don't typically go on Pinterest either. Usually it's things from the demonstrator planning place. And I don't know if I invited you to that. I need to make myself a note to do that. But there's demonstrators from all over that we share things just between the demonstrators too. That the demonstrator planning place, write that down. If you search Facebook, you can request to get added to that. But anyway, I started cutting out these trees. And then I decided it was a little low on the bottom. I wanted more black on the bottom. So I'm going to save this. And I'm going to move this up out of the way a little bit here to give me a little more room in case I should zoom in maybe just a little bit. All right, so I am going to use some Balmy Blue. Now, I already have this cut. This is 5.5. And I think you can see my ruler still maybe. Oh, no, you can't. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. So it's basically just a normal card base size. I scored it at 2 1/8, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So basically it's scored like a regular card for us in A2. And then it's scored to make like a regular fun fold card. All right, just a simple one. where the front half is just folded back so that it's in half. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish these because I didn't do that yet. And I have open studio time tomorrow. So I have to clear off the crafting table. It's kind of, I got a bunch of kits on it and candy that I have for the Halloween stuff that I'm making for the grandkids for their school stuff. It's just kind of a mess. So I have to get that cleaned up by tomorrow afternoon. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, and every once in a while, because I have an account on Pinterest, I just don't post any of my stuff to Pinterest typically, or I haven't regularly. But I get emails from Pinterest too, and once in a while there's something that kind of catches my eye, so I'll click into Pinterest, and then I'll see something that I thought was interesting. But I don't, Pinterest does have a lot of ideas, but I don't have that much time. All right, so next, this is an extra piece of black cardstock, obviously. This is balmy blue, I think. Yeah, I don't think I've had mine quite that long, Bonnie, but I'm not too far behind you. Probably 7 years or so. Yeah, I made most of my things private because if, you know, and then you can save them into a category if you're going to save them. And I have things saved that I've never looked at again. But if you just save them to your Pinterest, then everybody else who looks at your Pinterest is not getting directed to you. They're getting directed to whatever it is that you saved. So yeah, it can't, well, anytime I'm on my phone, it's like a time thief. You know, you think, oh, I'm just going to look for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. An hour and a half later, you're like, oh my gosh, I really should do something. So anyway, this is an 8.5 inch piece. I am going to cut this to about 1 inch. And I can always make it bigger if it's not enough. All right, so then what I want to do with this piece is I also want to score this at 2 1/8. Get that cutter blade out of there. 2 1/8, 4 1/4. So this is basically cut the exact same way as our card, right? Just like scrolling TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account. That may change eventually, but because China controlled TikTok, I didn't want to participate. So I do not have a TikTok account. I used to watch some TikTok videos, but now they've made, because my daughter, my stepdaughter would send me TikTok videos that she thought I would find entertaining or that she found really humorous. But now I can't even, she can send me things and I can't open them anymore because they want you to have an account. So the only other thing I'm going to do with this piece now is I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll probably take like, I don't know, 1/8 inch off or so. Kind of so I've got about a 1/16 of an inch border here. We're going to end up covering this part up, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it works. This bottom part I haven't really decided yet. We might actually slide it up a little bit. I don't know. But what we're going to end up doing is with this piece, so you can see we've got our double Z, right? So we've got our base Z and we've got the strap Z. I'm going to turn this around this way and I'm going to flip it over because what we want is to create that box in the middle. Okay? So that's going to be our Z. All right. So if we line this seam up, we should be pretty well a nice square. All right. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So we could probably, and I think I want that a little shorter now even. Oh, I know, because I cut this side short and I should have waited to cut that one. So I'm going to cut this off too. And it'll be fine. All right, so if I'm lining up this middle score, these, we can, they just have to be kind of even. So you have TikTok, you don't like it. Oh, greedy, huh? Oh, I suppose there is a lot of that, huh? And maybe that's why I never really got sucked in. All right, so I think for now I'm done with my trimmer again. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do, yeah, the Z-folds are nice. This is gonna be a double Z-fold and we're gonna see how it turns out. So now I wanna take that piece of, where did I put them? I thought I had two, oh here. I have two of them out. So what I want to do then is trim a couple of pieces that can go here. And I'm just going to hold this extra strap here off to the side so it's not in the way. So the yarn community on YouTube is all about money bagging too. Never build your channel, do the work and have YouTube pay you. That's a question. Never build your channel. So is that what Super Chat does? Do they have to pay for the Super Chat to leave? I mean, do their comments like come up different? I don't know how that works. I've never given a gift either. And I've not gotten a gift either as far as I'm aware. I don't know. Yep, views and that. Because that is what helps with YouTube. All right, so let's get back to the card here for me. I am going to, I think I want to do it. We're going to be putting some trees over here, if you didn't already guess that. We're going to be putting some trees on here. So I don't know if we want the darker sky or the pinker sky. What do you think? If we did the pinker sky, I could probably try to add some green in there with some ink blending. What do you think? I don't want to ruin it, but that might work because I've got another scrap here. Let me get a little green and we'll see how that looks. I'm gonna try some lemon lime twist. We'll see if Juju comes on. She likes lemon lime twist. And then here's where I had I kind of written down my cardstock and everything. In case anybody wants to try to duplicate this, you'll have to add some of your own notes because I didn't finish the DSP, but we're going to end up cutting them at 2 inches because I like a narrower border. So if you want a wider border, you'll have to adjust your measurements. So I'm just going to kind of play with this a little bit and see how it looks with some green added in here. And should it be going up or sideways? I don't know. What do you think of just a little green in there? Yeah, I've looked at some of the requirements for YouTube, and it's a lot of subscribers and it's a lot of watch hours. And if you do like the YouTube shorts, those you have to have an extraordinary number of views on them. Like, I don't know, Sally, is it like 1 million or something? It's insane. It's crazy. And I don't do shorts, so it doesn't really matter. All right, what do we think of the greens on here with the the pinks and the blues. What do we think? Does that add to it or does that ruin it? And then I need to know if we're going to do the pink up above or the dark up above. Any suggestions? I think I might like the blue. No green for you. Hi, Paige. So no green. And let me just take this little bit of green off of here. So a lot of the pictures that I've seen of the Northern Lights from my stepdaughter's friend who works there in Alaska, she has had greens and pinks and blues in hers. So let's just start trimming these down, and I'm going to trim this piece. I think I'm going to go with, I'm just going to snip this off of here quick. What are we voting on? We are kind of voting on whether there should be green in the Northern Lights or no green, and whether we should do the pinks at the top or the dark at the top. Keeping in mind that we're going to have trees going across here. So green does make it kind of Halloween-y, you're right. So I'm okay just having it plain. I could make different ones for Halloween. All right, so now we have to decide if we want the blues near the top or the pink, the berry burst at the top. So this way, Paige, you're thinking? Your comments are a little delayed for me, so if I'm a little behind where you've typed, I apologize. Pinks at the top. And then there's darks at the top, which is just a lot more plain. I kind of like it with the pinks as well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to trim this piece. So Sally, you've seen the Northern Lights with the greens too, right? Yeah. Lighter contrast, the trees more, so that's good. Yeah, we'll go with this for now, and we can always adjust color later, and maybe even just put a little bit in and leave some of it intact. Now, I was in a hurry when I was trying to die cut some of these pieces for tonight because I had to redo it a little bit. Oh, and I guess I didn't really need these ones punched out. I'll show you why in a second. So anyway, what I decided to do when I laid this down, I had, and I think I might have gotten rid of that color, that piece. Here it is. So I had this set here. Yes, there is green. There is green, and green is pretty common. I've seen the Northern Lights once, but it was kind of by accident. I thought it was my contact lens going wonky, and it was actually, I discovered it was actually the Northern Lights. So anyway, when I laid this on here, knowing that I was going to put these pieces behind here, I did not like how bright that was. So I actually made another piece and I extended it. And how I did that was, I cut this the first time, ran it through. All right, so Paige, you're in South Dakota. Yeah, it would be a stretch for you to see them from there most of the time. It's rare for me to be able to see them from Wisconsin. But sometimes they've said that we can, and usually the nights that they say we're going to be able to see them, it's overcast or it's raining and we don't get to see them after all. So all right, so what I was doing here is extending my die cut. And what I mean by that is I wanted this to extend 8.5 inches because I want it to go the whole length of my card, right? Because even on a Z fold, if I do this, I'm missing some. All right. Well, that's surprising that you'd see them by you, Bonnie. So anyway, what I did then, because this wasn't long enough and I didn't want to piece segments together, I took my die, because this doesn't cut the bottom all the way off, remember, and I scooted this one over here and I lined it up as best I could. You are very lucky, Sala. If I come to Finland, when's the best time to come to see the Northern Lights? So when I put this on here, I kind of marked where my first cut had ended. I kind of flipped this over so I could see where that other line was going to come through when I did this. And I lined it up as best I can. And I ran it through. So now we have an 8.5 wide. And this matched up exactly. I did not trim that. I was lucky, lucky, lucky. So let me take these out. This is the void piece. And then I'm going to just snip this here. I don't know if we're going to trim this part off or not. I have not decided. Yes. And see, that's the beauty of these dies that don't have the cutting edge down at the bottom. Now, Paige, are you a demonstrator or are you a general crafter? So that's what I did here. So there's no cutting end down here. If you wanted to have it cut a certain way, there is a die from this that has just the cutting edge. This is the one we used yesterday to do the water and the land to get it to match, to nest together. All right, winter pretty much for you. And when is, well, your fall now. So, okay, so winter, well, your winter is the same time as us then. Okay. 2 nights ago. Oh, all over Finland, huh? All right, so Paige, you're a demonstrator. Okay, so, and why was I asking that? Oh, so these are available to you now. Yuda, hello. So these are available to you now because this Lights of Aurora is a pre-order for the online exclusives that release in November. So I had just lost my whole train of thought. All right, so I'm going to get this out of the way because I'm not using that today. So this is what I wanted here. All right, but I also need to score it now because I want it to fold with my Z fold card, right? Because I want this all the way across here and I want my papers behind here. Isn't that going to look slick? Okay. So I'm going to cut this down and I'm going to get rid of this. This would make a good decorative mask, perhaps. All right. So Paige, you've been a scrapbooker or just getting into cards. Were you close to my heart? Yeah, joining for the crafting habit. That's what I did as well. I wanted the deal and then I wanted the discount and then I just kind of stayed because the perks were worth it. And then I started kind of accidentally building my team. So it worked out good. All right. So I like a narrow border. So I'm going to cut this down instead of a normal height would be 5.5. And I'm just going to go down 1/8 of an inch. So I'm taking off 5/8 of an inch because this is going to be 5 3/8. All right, so there's my kind of narrow border. all right? And if this is 2 1/8, I want this to be 2. And I did write that down here. So we're going to trim off 5/8 of an inch. So we need 3 that are 2 inches by 5 3/8. Let's just make sure that works. 2 by 5 3/8. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to cut another one that's 2 inches wide, because that one could go here. And then this one could go here. All right. Now, the other thing that I looked at was, when I closed this, is this going to kind of flow? Or do I want to put this piece over here so that it does actually flow? Because when the card is closed, that's going to be the flow. And then what I could do is just put my white pieces in here, or even, I don't like that. So I could put this in here, and it's not going to matter so much if there's the flow there, because when the card is closed, I think that's more important for the flow. And if the card is on display, I think this continuity is more important for the flow. All right. So what I want to do is, where did my black strip go? So with this, thank you, Sala. So what I'm going to do here is, remember we trimmed this down a little bit. So it's just a little under 8 1/4 by an inch. And if you missed the score lines, then just go back and rewatch the beginning when we started doing that. All right. So these could very well go just tucked under the layers so that it looks prettier. And our trees are going to go on top of there. And actually that's not going to matter, because if we adhere that to this, you're not even going to see this part. All right. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry. All right. So here we're at 8 1/2. So I'm going to score this. Now here's where we had a little inspiration last night too. We are going to score this at 2 1/8, because this is at 2 1/8, but I want to take and protect my layer from my scoring tool. Yesterday we were, thank you, Paige. Yesterday we were protecting it from the cutting blade. Today we're going to protect it from the scoring blade. So we're going to go to 2 1/8, and I'm actually going to flip this over this way. And I know my score line is not necessarily going to be Mountain Valley correct, but I'm going to go to 2 1/8 here. I'm going to put this piece of paper right over here so that when I score, my trees are not going to get all bunched up. All right. So we can see this scored without ruining my trees. All right. So no bunched paper up there. All right. And then I'm going to score again at 4 1/4, because that's the middle fold for our card. So let's just protect this here. And hopefully this one will work just as well. Nice. All right. And we'll get these going the right way as soon as I remember what way one has to go. All right. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and burnish these, but I'm going to be careful because I don't want to ruin anything here. So I'm going to put this back over here just because I don't want to be overzealous and ruin it. All right. But I want to have a little extra crease in there. All right. So now, when we go here, Oh no, I did that wrong. I needed this. That's all right. I'm gonna fix it. I need my 2 1/8 to be on this half, not this half. All right, so this is gonna be my prototype. Don't tell anybody I scored it in the wrong place. But you're gonna see I've got another thing going on here, so it's truly going to be all right. All right, so we're gonna score this side at 2 1/8. See, that's what happens. I wasn't paying enough attention. So actually we can go this way because I want 2 1/8. And that's because our Z fold, you guys probably get it. I was just too busy not thinking. All right, so we got 2 1/8. Let's put this back on here. Yes, that's it. I was testing to see if anybody was going to try to make me stop. And I'm making sure that I've got my scoring blade, not my cutting blade, because that would be even worse again. I did that the other night, but it happens. So even though I craft every night, I still make mistakes. All right. So now we're going to burnish this side instead. It'll be fine. Just if you happen to do this, do yours the correct way. Well, I'm glad you learned something. And we're all here to kind of share. I know Sala has reminded me sometimes, don't put embossing powder on there, it's adhesive, or it hasn't dried, or I don't even remember what that was, but it's like, oh yeah, I would have put the embossing powder in there and I would have ruined it. So we look out for each other. All right, so I think I have all of my little void places marked out. Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of skill as much as just paying attention and trying to get your head to keep up with what your hands are doing or vice versa. All right, so I'm not sure that I need to use that. We'll see. So I don't know if you notice, but I've got this window sheet in here. All right. I am going to put a window sheet behind my trees because I want to give them some extra stability. You're right. It can be fixed or covered up, or it's just an opportunity for more creativity, because then we just have to extend ourselves on how we're going to make it look how we wanted it to look. So what I'm going to do, and this might seem kind of scary. I'm like, well, how am I going to work this? So what I'm going to do is, let me pull in this black piece because that might help a little bit. I am going to put adhesive sheet on here. Okay. Well, it has been a week for your cold. You could always just make a reel and not talk. You could do a voiceover later. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive sheet on my window sheet. All right, so let's just go ahead and cut this down. And I've got this at 3 inches. Oops, I need the cutting blade. And I guess I'm going to cut this side because it looks like it's a little crooked there. All right, let's just see if this is 8.5 or not. Yeah, it's close enough. All right, so 3 inches, here we come. Hello, Florence, welcome back. And when you ladies last night were saying hello to Mr. Paul, and I don't know if you were yelling at him last night, if that was all the caps last night, or if that was the night before. He went through and he watched my video so he could look at the comments, and he said, tell everybody your roadie said hello. Yeah, if you skip too many lives, you know, people kind of forget about them. So you could always start it, and if you can't get very far, just let them know you'll have a continuation. Hi, Tanya. Sorry, I missed you popping in. Sorry about that. All right, so with my window sheet, let's go ahead and get this stuck on. And I'm just going to lay this on top this way. And then we can go ahead and maybe peel the other backing piece off here. And sometimes it does kind of pull away from the edge of the backing sheet, so don't be scared when it does that, but if you pull it off at an angle, less of that comes off. All right. So the idea now is that I need this sticky side to be up so it sticks to this, right? Start and see how long you can go. Yeah, be prepared with some tea. That's a good idea. All right, so I am now going to use the dies and I'm going to cut these out. Now, let's see if this is a 2-inch panel. So this is about 6 and I need 2 inches. So I need about a little over 2 inches for this one. So that should be just about right. But for this panel, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to try to do it as a continuous piece because I don't need it to be. Because for the fold here and the fold here, I'm going to have them cut apart. Okay. And then this one, where that score line isn't anymore, this is going to be all one flat piece. So that's going to be the 4 1/4. Yep, that'll be the 4 1/4. So let me get my die cutting machine out here. And for the part that's here, because it's longer than 3 inches from here to here, and I only cut this at 3, this part I don't really care because that part has this stability. It's not going to need anything else. All right. So let's get out the big one here. Bossy Bessie. And on the title, I said this was an experimentation in Aurora-tation or something. I don't know what I said. I was trying to be rhymey. All right, so hopefully you can see this. And I just want the tops of the trees to be on that window sheet. And I brought in my other die cutting machine just because the plates are flatter. Well, I brought in the plates from the other one. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And let's just see if this cut through all the way. I'm going to run it through a second time because the window sheet is pretty thick. Yeah, the stamps, I could probably take it or leave it, but I ended up getting the whole suite. But the dies are special. Let's see if this is, all right, so this is coming all the way through. Yay. All right, so there we go. And now remember, I've done it so that on this window sheet, oh no, did I do it wrong? I did. No, I did it right. Or did I? Oh, Lori, I probably did it backwards. Do I have my sticky? I did the sticky backwards. All right, let's do this again. I'll save this for another one. So I was thinking I should have flipped this piece over so that I had the backing up, and I forgot to flip it over. My concept was correct, but my execution was rough. So I'm going to get another piece of adhesive sheet. And let me just see. Let's get this out of the way again. My intentions were good, but that's what happens. All right, so my adhesive sheet was not big enough. Where's my other window sheet? I had another leftover piece, but I will go get another one. Oh, here. So this should be big enough. So 8.5, and this is actually by 4. So let's cut this down to 8.5 by 3. Eight and a half by 3. I'll go 3.25. If I'm gonna do it over, I may as well just do it over, right? All right, and then I can just leave that the way it is, I think. All right, so let's put this stickum sheet on again. Remind me to turn it over this time. All right, let's try this again. See, that's why you watch me, so that I can make the mistakes, so you don't have to. Right? All right, little drink of water there, sorry. I'm getting a little raspy too. All right. Come on, there we go. Some of this is lifting off. Again, don't be super concerned. A lot of this one's lifting off. Let's try it from the other side. A lot of the adhesive was lifting off the edges there. And once it started, it didn't want to let go. The first piece worked so smoothly. I might have to get my take your pick tool pretty soon. There we go. Why would it need to go smoothly when I've already made a mistake, right? That's all right. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over because I want the sticky part up. Normally we have it like this. Yep, no edits, no retakes. It is what it is. Alrighty, and that's part of the fun, I guess. Making the mistakes. But again, I made the mistake so you don't have to. Let's just get some of this stuff out of the way. All right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna bring in my Bossy Bessie. And usually, I don't plan ahead either. I mean, I have an idea of what I'm going to make, but it's not like I have my sample all prepped and everything. It's, you get what you get. And you don't throw a fit, right? That's a saying that Juju shared with me. I couldn't remember what the rest of it was. All right, so I'm making sure I've got the sticky part up now. We should be good. All right, so the adhesive, yes, sticky is up. I'm just making sure. And let's run this through. And that's actually all the crinkle going through that window sheet. So I'm just going to take the whole thing and run it through again, because I know last time it needed twice through. And we should be good. Looks like it's all coming up here. Well, sometimes they'd really come in handy. So when you've got real intricate things, like when we did these trees, having them on adhesive sheets would have worked better than me trying to dab glue on. I did the glue, but I think it would have been better if I'd have been thinking ahead and used adhesive sheets, but they are a personal preference. Yep, figured out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim this down. And I am not gonna worry about all the little void pieces. Maybe I should, but I don't know if I really need to. Because they might be kind of a struggle. So I think what I'll end up doing instead is if there's adhesive, if there's tack that I can feel once we put the trees onto this, then I'll just use my embossing buddy, or maybe put some embossing powder and maybe it would look like snow. I don't know. I could probably test it with one of my experiment ones. We'll see. All right. And then we need this again. And this is the side of the die that I put here. All right. So I'm going to put that on here. And we'll cut out that last segment. And I just wanted the window sheet down because on the Z-fold, it does give it a pretty look, but that's going to be covered up. With the Z-fold, I wanted the trees to have some support behind them because they're going to be, you know, bending and that, and I don't want them to get caught on things. So this might work, it might not. I don't know, but in my head, it made sense. We'll just have to see. I'm going to run through one more time. And I suppose that could be kind of a card on its own if you didn't take... Well, you could do the adhesive backing off and just have kind of clear shimmer over your trees. That might be kind of a cool look. And in fact, you know, maybe that would have been a better idea, putting it on top instead of in the back. But now this one's too short. So for this card, it's not going to work. Maybe on another version. But not on this version. Unless we have to redo it. Then there might be a part 2. All right. Let's just see how this is going to work. All right, so this part of our card, this is going to come up here. So I need a little bit scored here, and we need to trim off a little bit. So I'm going to trim once I get it stuck on, and I think I'll rescore once I get it stuck on, because I think that's the safer way to do it. All right, so let's... This still didn't, because I forgot to flip this one over again. Lori, really? All right, we're going to do the first half. Yes, we could do the clear embossing powder. All right, so let's just try this now because this section does have, it does have the stickum. So this, you know, did I still do this wrong? Because this has a stickum on the top. This one has the stickum. How did I do that wrong again? Ladies, ladies, ladies. Well, I'm thinking we're just going to put this on the top and see what it looks like. Because how could I mess it up again? But I did. Oh, how did that happen? Let me think through this. So if I put this through, but I want it on the back, the adhesive sheet should have been on this side. But why is that like that? Because the backing, how did I do this? Because this should have been like this. Why is my head so screwed up that it's not working? Lori's really having a brain meltdown here. All right, I'm going to try this one more time because in my head it's making sense, but on paper it is not. So I'm going to go ahead and use this piece. Let me go get another window sheet. And I thought we were super careful that second time. How could I have done it wrong the same way twice? Hi, Bonnie. So let's do 3 1/4. By 8 1/2. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. I'll look at it again. No, because this has the shiny side up, and it should have the adhesive backing side up. This is the adhesive backing side up. So it should have been cut here. I wonder if I flipped it over twice by mistake. Because I've got the backing sheet on this side. That's just crazy. All right. One more flyby. We're going to see how this works. And this is my 3 1/4. I just don't know how I did that wrong twice. All right. Let me get some of these extra pieces out of the way. So this piece should have been like this. And I thought I had cut through my adhesive side. I must have accidentally flipped it over twice. That's the only thing I can imagine happened. Yeah, that I did. I had to have flipped it over twice by mistake. All right, we'll figure it out. It's all good. We'll figure it out. All right, I need a bigger adhesive strip. That'll work. Oh, one of these days, it'll work. And then I'm going to see if I can Maybe start this side. So that it doesn't fight me quite so much. All right. Oh, and then it stuck to my finger anyway. All right. And I'm going to save this one little piece here because we might be able to use that. All right, so I want the sticky side to be up. So this is my backing paper, which means when I take this off, the sticky part is going to stay on the acetate. And see if I take this off, it's on the wrong side. All right. If it doesn't work this time, we're putting this card together without any protection for those trees. Maybe I'll just do 2 layers of trees and put them together. That is a live curse, but that's all right. It happens. All right, I'm just putting this through my head. So I want the acetate down below. I want this up here. This is gonna go here. We're gonna get this. I'm gonna go like this because I want the treetops. So the stickum backing is coming off here. This has got to be right this time. I must have just had a redheaded moment for a second there. It happens. I was trying so hard to be careful. Wish me luck. Yep, wish me luck. And we're going to run it through a second time so I don't mess it up without it coming off. All right. So this doesn't want to let go. Come on. All right, I'm going to have to try to run this through a third time, it looks like. Hopefully I can get it to line up. Thank you, Yuta. It's going to work. It's going to work. Faith. Fingers crossed. Some of this just doesn't want to cut through all the way. Most of it did, but some of it doesn't want to let go. But resistance is futile. I am going to win. I am determined. There we go. And the redhead won. All right, well, I shouldn't speak too soon. I think the redhead is winning. All right, so now when I take the backing off, the stickum is on here. And let's see if we can do like some little paper piecing with those white pieces and see how that looks. All right. Whew! That was a struggle. The struggle is real, but it was all right. It worked. So I think I might leave those white pieces in there from the backing sheet. I mean, over time, I suppose they might come off because it is just backing sheet and not cardstock. But I'm just going to roll with it. All right, so I need to score at my 4 1/4 because now we've got the adhesive sheet or the window sheet here. And I need to find my scrap piece. Thanks for rooting for me, everybody. All right, so now we got one of those white pieces is coming out because of the score line, but that's all right. You have to score a little bit harder, it looks like. Either that or, no, I think I need to score a little harder. I'll just go over it a few more times. Those window sheets are strong stuff, right? All right. Beautiful. All right, so this is going to be our card front. And I think I am going to have to take all these little extra pieces off because some of them are popping off. So you can see right there, some of them are coming out. So we'll do some of these. We'll take them out. Some of them we won't have to. Just start pressing on some of the ones, and if they come out, they come out, and if they don't, they don't. So this is one where that brush that's on my Take Your Pick tool is probably not going to work. Some of these are pretty well stuck, so those that were super loose I've just popped out. All right. Finally. All right, so that worked. So let's go and get our other piece, whoops, for this side. And this one should be easier because we've already cut. That's probably what I did. I probably just flipped it that way. All right, so this was, I want the sticky side up. How come it's not matching up? No. So this is the sticky side. I want to make sure. All right, Sala, thanks for popping in. All right, so there's the sticky is up. And we are going to redo this tree for here. And good luck with your live, Sala. I hope your voice comes through. All right. One more time here. Whoops. Turn that around so I can actually reach the handle, right? Are you out of here too, Judah? And I'm just going to run that through the third time because that's what we had to do with the other one. I'll just move it to a different part of the plate too. Oh, idiot. No, it's not letting go yet, so Oh, I think it might have shifted. There's still a lot more creaking going on, so it might have shifted. All right. That worked out a little bit better, leaving that die in place. And then I think if I try to punch some of these out ahead of time through the die, that might work a little bit better too. Because I can feel them on the back. That one doesn't want to come through. All right. Ooh, I think we're doing good now. All right, so let's get this tree. We did it. And then this comes. Oh, please tell me I didn't do it. No, it's lining up there. I just had it. Whew. Scared myself. All right, there. It's just, it was a little crooked with the window sheet. Not a big deal. All right. That's a relief. All right, so let's peel this up. Get this stuck on here. Okay, I'm going to flip it over because it's easier for me to see putting it down on the black paper than it is for me to put the black paper on the clear. All right. Oh, success. Finally. All right. So we got a little fold there, and we're going to have to put a fold here. So some of these don't want to come out. I may just pick the white pieces off the top once I get this situated, because that's going to take a little, it's going to be a little putsy. So my suggestion to others when they go to make this, just do 2 layers in cardstock. I think that would work just as well. I was thinking the window sheet would have been stronger, which it will be. I have no doubt it will be stronger, but is it worth the effort? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. All right, so here we are going to score it at 2 1/8. I am all full of adhesive. There we go. We're going to score it 2 1/8. And protect our branches. All right, let's get this back where it belongs. My little scrap piece is getting stuck on branches. All right, finally. Right. You know, and that one, it didn't fold up there, but I bet we wouldn't have to worry about it because it's going to be inside the card, and that part will be fine. that out of the way. Get my window sheet out of the way. And let's get our card back in here. Whew. Back on track. Double Z fold, here we come. And actually the 2 layers of cardstock might actually be prettier because you can see it's not a big deal, but you can see the shiny window sheet behind there. So let's go ahead and see how these lined up. So we're going to put this one here. That was a lot of work for this little Z-fold card, wasn't it? All right. For our double Z-fold card, I should say. Got a little bit of wiggle room with my glue. All right, that's going to be good enough. And then we want this piece to go there. Oh my goodness, the struggle is real. So somebody really special is going to have to get this card right. And what I'm doing here is I'm using this edge to line up where the top has to go there. And then I'm guiding it down with my fingers along that other margin. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is, how's that going to look? Maybe I'll put white on both. So let me get some white cardstock. And then too, you could, if there's not enough room here and here for you to write on, send it to my best friend. Yep, you're not kidding. You could also put a white layer back here to write more on if the inside's not enough. So let me get some white. And I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4, only because it was already scored. So we're going to do 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, and I want 5 3/8. So let's cut the 5 3/8 first. And then we'll go 2 1/8, I think is what we did on this other side. No, 2 inches. That's what I wrote down here, 2 by 5 3/8. 2 inches and 2 inches. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're getting there. Live and learn. Well, you figure it's only paper. Well, and window sheets, but it's only paper. And like we were talking about, I'm human, so. Now, if I had gone through the steps and actually made my card ahead of time, and I know a lot of the demonstrators do, they get everything all prepped. They've got their prototype, the one that they're working off of. I would have made that mistake ahead of time, and then it wouldn't have been on the live, but I just didn't have time for that. It wasn't meant to be. So what we need to do is get this fold lined up with the center fold of the card, and that's going to put these edges right where they need to be to fold up this way. All right. So this tree piece is instead of a normal double Z fold piece. So this tree took the place of that piece. All right. So the other thing that I'm thinking is these are kind of plain. And I just wonder if I had, we could do some little ink blending. And add some little tree shapes in very light color, do you think? And then inch that up the page. What do you think? I could do it on the white ones before I glue them down. Let's just see how it looks. And I wonder if I have, here, I want this piece. So let's see what color we should try. We could probably do the balmy blue. That might, we'll see. I can always change the color. Balmy blue is so light. Oh, that was Pool Party. See, that didn't look quite right. There we go, Pool Party. So this is gonna lay like here. We could probably go over here. Let's just give this a look and see. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. It might look kind of dopey. It might look kind of cool. Who knows? You don't know if you don't try. And it's only paper, so. Well, that's kind of interesting. Can you see that? Ooh, that's pretty cool, I think. Let's do a little bit more up there. Just kind of takes that stark white out of the equation. All right, let's see how this looks now. Get rid of that, pull this back in. These are going to lay here. Oh, I think that's so much better than just plain white, don't you? Hopefully you can see that just a subtle color. In fact, oh, maybe that, I don't know if that helps or not. But hopefully you can see just that subtle color behind there. It still gives you plenty of space to write, and your words are not going to be lost. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. Thank you, Paige. Definitely a card for someone special. Someone special who won't mind that I made a little scoring mistake on the front. But I think that's where I'll put a sentiment maybe. All right, so I'm left-handed, so I'm turning this sideways so that I can line up this white layer to that Designer Series paper layer. Hopefully I cut it right. Looks pretty good. Maybe shift it up just a little bit. Oh, it's finally coming together. This would not be one that I would mass produce. But like Sala, when she was here, mass producing is not hers. They're unique cards. And that's part of the beauty of when we create things like these. Some of the more simple cards, it's easy to recreate and mass produce. But something like this, it's more of a custom card. You know, somebody I knew was asking me to make a super special card for something. I try to make them more detailed, all right? So if we have this seam, we don't need this one. I'm having this fold into the seam, and we only want to put adhesive on this one little, the first half, because it folds. So we can't put any adhesive here because then it won't fold, right? And I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't put the window sheet all the way down, because then I'm more certain that my adhesive is going to stay. Sometimes I get a little worried that it's going to peel away from the window sheet. I'm not worried about it here, of course, because that window sheet's not going to have any stress on it. All right, I think that's good. Let's find my bone folder. Okay, my bone folder is lost. It's not actually lost. It's just not where I can see it right now. I had it when we were doing the tree pieces. Okay. We are going to burnish this with just the tap of my Take Your Pick tool instead, because I like to make sure that the tear and tape is well affixed to all of the paper, not just the part that it's getting added to. I like it nice and secure on the base piece too. All right, it's coming along. We're almost done. All right. So I'm going to line this up here in the middle. And then we can take this one down here. Hopefully it's lined up straight. Oh, I think that's gorgeous. You know what else would be cool? Is to put, I don't have one handy. Oh, here we go. You could actually put a little luminarium candle in here. Can you see that? That would be kind of cool. A little fire in there. Maybe. Maybe, maybe. All right. So what we could do to kind of camouflage this shiny part is I could actually put the sentiment piece, and I need to burnish this fold a little bit more, but we could put our sentiment piece across here, but then I wouldn't want it to cover all of the tree. And this actually, I'll probably want to put some glue to secure it to these pieces a little bit. But I'll figure that out once we're done. So let's see what we wanted to do as far as sentiment. That's really pretty. And I'm not saying that because I made it. I'm just saying it because this suite of products is so pretty. I like it. I really like it. So, you know, the other thing I could do is I could probably cut that so that it laid nicer, because that window sheet is, it would hold on there. We'll have to see. All right, what do we need to do for sentiment though? Let's figure that out. Let's see what else I have here. How about wishing you peace and joy? This is peaceful. That brings me joy. I have some stamps out somewhere. I'll have to figure out where I have those. All right, wishing you peace and joy. And I think we'll put that on a pool party strip. And we'll do it in black. Memento black. Oops, I got a little heavy-handed there. Let's try that again. And I just like to hold it down for a few seconds so that the ink soaks in. And I'm going to try it one more time because some of that ink was lighter in other parts, probably because I didn't re-ink there when I stamped it off. Either that or I didn't press evenly on the block. I like that better. All right. Let's trim this up. So that's going to go all the way across here. And I think I want to use the, there's some gorgeous ribbon with this too. I have an open one. What did I do with it? Here it is. This would probably look good as a backdrop for this. What if I did a couple of little snowflakes across here too? I could put the ribbon all the way across here, do you think? And maybe add a couple of small snowflakes and put those in Pool Party too. What do you think? We're just going to trim this long. This way. Concentration, right? Can't really see too much of that ribbon under there since I cut it at an angle. Let me cut another piece of ribbon. I'm going to cut it longer this time, and then I'll decide where I cut it off. The nice thing about the Stamp and Seal is that the ribbon is pretty repositionable. All right. Then I can trim that later. And I can trim this a little bit shorter too. Oh, not with those scissors. Now I could have this up on an adhesive strip. Give it a little extra dimension. Maybe I should put 2. I like these adhesive strips. They're easy to use. They're narrow, so you can use them for window cards and other things. I think that's pretty centered. All right, and then let's find some snowflakes. And that ribbon I can use for something else. It's not wasted. All right, snowflakes. Here we go. Of course, these are going to be pretty big snowflakes. Let me see if I can find another one, maybe. I thought these dies were a little more detailed. I know there's snowflakes on the paper though. Oh, there's this. So I thought there was a die. Oh, there it is. There's the die. So here's the die for that snowflake. And let's see. I don't know if tone on tone is going to be dark enough. Oh, I think that's pretty. What do you think? All right. And then we've got the little die. Don't want to lose that. And let's get the little machine out right now. I did not think this card was going to take this long. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Is that too whimsical, do you think? Because I could also do like some pine pieces. What do you think? Do you like those snowflakes? Or let me do one more just so we can kind of get a little better idea of grouping here. I don't know, those might be a little too whimsical. Maybe I should find the felt. Or you're here for the final reveal. Thanks for hanging in there with me. We also have these little snowflakes that work with the dies. These just look kind of whimsical to me. I'm not sold on those. I'm not against them, but let me do the one that's just got the blues. This is all greens. Of course, if I was to add some green to the Northern Lights, that might work better. But I think what I might try is some pine boughs in white velvet. So there's those. And I'm just not feeling that one. Let me get some white velvet here. And see about making some little pine boughs here. That might work for me. We'll see. Yes, this other paper here is the Elegant Pine Snowflakes. I think that's available already. Yeah, white paper with the ink color might work better. So we'll try that next. These have a bunch of little holes that we need to poke out. So this is white velvet paper. Well, I guess I shouldn't call it paper. It's paper backed, but there's velvet on top of there. So let's do this stamp on white and see how that looks instead. You guys have no idea how much mess is off to each side of me. That might work. And I guess I was too stuck on the banner being the pool party that I thought I needed the snowflakes on the pool party, but I think it's going to work better on white. And these are pretty, but I don't know that the colors really work. Oh, I think that's better because that coordinates nice with those pieces. Good idea, Florence. That's why you're here. I think that is the deal maker. Are the snowflakes black? These snowflakes? These are, this is like Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, and this is Old Olive and Shaded Spruce. If that's what you were talking about. I'm just looking to see if there's some other like pine boughs that I could do that have dyes. I think maybe the snowflakes with the pool party on white is best. What do you think? I mean, I could try to layer them with these pool party tone on tone ones, but I really think I like the white with the pool party best. Oh, that's not too bad though. But I don't know that the pine bough did it for me. I could tuck that in there though. Maybe I should cut another one of those just in case. In case that grows on me, we'll see. And I considered doing some ink blending on the velvet, but I don't think, I'm not confident that the ink would dry properly, and I'm afraid it would smudge. So I may play with that at some point, because it is something I've thought about, you know, adding color to the white velvet. I don't know. Maybe I'll put more snowflakes there. So what do you think? Tone on tone plus the white ones, or just the white ones with the pool party? I just feel like we might need something else with that sentiment. Although if I put some gems on there, that might finish it off. So the tone on tone with the white ones? Because we could put some of these gems on here too. And then maybe if I put a couple of little snowflakes in there too, that might look cute. So we'll do a couple more white snowflakes for the front. Let's just take a look. Doing the little final embellishments are taking almost as much time as playing with that window sheet on the trees. And those could go up on dimensionals. I won't put the ones on the inside on dimensionals, but these two on the front, 2 or 3 on the front could be. I think I just want 2 of them. Because then we'll have 7 snowflakes all together, and I kind of like the odd numbers. Go big or go home. That almost needs a second dimensional there. Oops. Maybe just a little dollop of glue onto that one. All right. Oh, I guess I should glue those on there, huh? That might be a good thing. So they don't fall off. Just trying to pick that one up. All right. I think that's that. So if I make more of these, I'm using extra layers of the cardstock rather than window sheets. The window sheets was a good idea in theory, but not in execution. And then let's trim out our ribbon, and I'm just going to do straight cuts because I think that looks better. All right, so there's the front. There's the inside. There's that. And we could do a luminarium in there too. And oh, that would make cool shadows. That might be from my overhead light though. I think that works. I think that works. All right, thanks for your suggestions, ladies. I appreciate it. Sorry it took so long to do a single card, but you know, it's part of the creative process. The tone on tone and the white look nice. So this is all right then, right? All right. Maybe I'll give this one to my dad for Christmas. He would appreciate it. And he wouldn't notice any flaws on it either, so. All right. That is all I have for you ladies. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for sticking with those of you that hung out here till the very end. I appreciate it, and I will be back, I don't know, in like 21 or 22 hours, I guess. So until next time, happy crafting.